Be on the line, Gilas Filipino against the Tall Blacks. Here at the Mall of Asia Arena, a true thriller in Manila. A real preview of how special some of the games will be on the big stage at the Asia Cup next summer. The Philippines start with the ball. Scotty Thompson wearing the 9 on his back. The man who's dished 9 assists a game so far as part of that incredible output as a team of Gilas. And they can't come up with the first score here. New Zealand looking to get it on a tough spin on the reverse and then a tip to ensure that it went down. Sam Wardenberg had the first attempt. Walter Brown was there backing him up. Kai Sotto, along with this man, Justin Brownlee. So much will go through those two. Thompson creates the good look for the corner 3. Sotto off the mark. He's been doing the majority of his scoring on the interior, Kai Sotto. Centre, 22 years of age, who stands at 2 meters 18 or 7'2" if you prefer. Three-point shot to answer for New Zealand goes right down for Corey Webster on the occasion of his 98th international appearance for the Tall Blacks. Returned to the team for the Olympic qualifying tournament in Greece, where he shot 36% from downtown. Another outside attempt. And another big blow landed by Corey Webster, the 35-year-old who is coming out swinging at the start of the first period in this big battle, delivering big blows from downtown. That one over the top of Dwight Ramos. New Zealand up 8-0 with the last 6 points coming through the hands of Webster to force a timeout from Tim Coe. Here we have an issue on the score graphic. 8-0 is the start for New Zealand. Missed shots from Sotto as well as Fajardo for the Philippines. And New Zealand with 8 points, 2 on the outside already for Corey Webster, and the interior tip for Walter Brown. They're 3 of 4 from the field. So 0-8 the score. Brownlee into Sotto, who gets fouled and will go to the line to try and stop the rot. Look for the first score after close to 2 minutes for the home team. Kai Sotto, the second highest efficiency of all players in window 1 of qualifying, only behind his teammate Justin Brownlee. That illustrates how big those two were in that big window 1 for Gilas Pilipinas. A big man who can shoot from the stripe as well. 87% in the first window, knocks down his first 2 in the second window. The first score for the Philippines. Long range 2, better contested this time by Sotto, but it still goes down for Wardenberg. So 4 of 5 shooting to start for New Zealand. Brownlee looking to take his first shot, and he puts it in. Justin Brownlee. Well, the Filipino comeback certainly plausible if Brownlee gets going. It's another open look for 3 though, and it's Wardenberg again. 5 points in a flash. And the superior shooting from the start continues for the Tall Blacks. Wardenberg at 2 meters 8, knocking down the big shot. Brownlee finding his flow. But Philippines have to improve on the defensive end, trailing by 7. The first 4 points from the field for the Philippines, all coming through Brownlee's shooting. And then they get a defensive stop for only the second time in these opening 3 and a bit minutes. And that offers the opportunity to come forward in transition. They've run out of room, but keep it alive. There's that ball movement on the exterior, but the 3 wouldn't go down. Taylor Britt. New Zealand had struggled on the perimeter. That's the offensive foul as New Zealand turn the ball over here.
Foul on number 93, Sam Wardenberg. That's his first personal foul.
Their first turnover of the game, second foul for the team. So Philippines showing some improvement on the defensive end. Sotto fakes the handoff. Nice pass, 3-point shot, wide open, locked, loaded, and hitting the target, Dwight Ramos. And Philippines back within 4. Wardenberg and Webster moving it around. Lovely swung pass down the baseline. Open 3 off though for Brown. New Zealand starting to miss shots, having knocked down 4 of their first 5. Sotto getting the fans excited, and he puts it into the hands of Fajardo to finish. They trailed by 8 early on, now on an 11-5 run. Up fake and a travel on Tyrell Harrison. And Philippines finally getting under New Zealand's skin on the defensive end, and that leading to conversions on the offensive end. Let's go Gilas. The chant reverberating around the Mall of Asia Arena. Two turnovers on New Zealand in the last couple of minutes. Philippines a chance to tie or maybe take the lead as it goes inside to Fajardo, bumping bodies. At the height advantage, couldn't convert though. On the trail, the triple. And it hits the target for Isaiah Le'efa, who's not been a factor in this qualifying campaign, but comes in for this second window after very good performances at the Olympic qualifying tournament in Greece. Shot 50% from 3 in that competition. 3-point shooting the difference at the moment in favour of New Zealand. They're shooting lights out from long range, but there's a miss on that one, having knocked down 4 of their previous 5 from distance. They came in with tough shooting percentages in that first window on the exterior. The most accurate team on the interior, and that's where they're going to look to punish here in transition. A foul on Dwight Ramos. New Zealand shooting 65% from 2 the first 2 games, but under 30% from beyond the arc. They were also the 7th worst of the 24 teams from the free throw line That's only 63%. They're there now. Tom Vodanovic. Right on cue, a miss. First foul shots in the game for New Zealand. Jude Flavel, New Zealand head coach. He has worked with the majority of these players in some capacity at previous jobs, either at the Breakers, in other roles with the national teams, or more recently with the Canterbury Rams. His team missing their first 2 free throws in his tenure. Nice pass onto the inside, but a travel called on Thompson.
Substitution for the Philippines.
So Philippines with their second turnover. Tim Cone on the Philippines bench. Born in Oregon in the United States, but moved to the Philippines at the age of 9. Attacking a pack in the paint, but forced into the miss was Vodanovic. Philippines protecting the interior, and then at full pace, looking to go coast to coast. In a determined mood was Chris Newsom.
Foul on number 2, Isaiah.
Third team foul for New Zealand.
Personal foul. Third team foul for New Zealand. 2 free throws for Chris Newsom.
Newsom, the 34-year-old guard, out the line. Efficient shooting the ball in the first window, albeit not scoring many points, not taking too many shots, predominantly a playmaker. Averaging 3.5 assists with only 0.5 turnovers across those first 2 games.
Corey Webster for Sam Wartenberg.
So Wartenberg goes out. Made a big shot in that big New Zealand run to start. He's got 5 points, a 2 and a 3. Losing it down the left rail, New Zealand turn it over again. Newsom. Philippines a chance to close it, or maybe even tie from 8 down. It's Sotto. He'll take it, looking to draw the double, gets it back in the post, and a foul straight away is the 4th on New Zealand, with 3 minutes of the quarter still to play. Any further defensive foul on the Tall Blacks will send Philippines to the line.
Hiram Harris has his first personal foul. 4th team foul for New Zealand.
Hiram Harris. A foul. They have spread those 4 fouls between 4 different players. The shot straight away off the inbound just grazes the wrong side of the rim. Offensive rebound for Ramos, though. Newsom, they'll work with a fresh 14. Quick shot again. Brownlee off. Brownlee had 4 points on back-to-back field goal makes early on, but misses his first shot since then. Stumbling, tumbling, and fumbling was Flynn Cameron, but a foul. Only the second on the Philippines.
Shot clock at 14 seconds.
New Zealand started with a flurry of field goals. The scoring has really dried up for them. That's a hotly contested shot, but great offense beating great defense. New Zealand at the moment holding Philippines at arm's length, looking to repel the comeback. Now 8 points for Corey Webster on perfect shooting, including a couple of threes in that tough 2. Up fake, fly by, Newsom to the lane, no look pass, Sotto. Little push shot over the smaller opponent, puts it in. Kai Sotto up to 4 points. 3 rebounds and also 3 assists from the big man in the first quarter. Air ball on the touch-tight defense that time. Sotto challenging, then running the floor and getting his reward with the beautiful stop. Now you see me, now you don't moves.
Time out, New Zealand.
Kai Sotto turning it on. And so to Newsom with a no-look pass. And off the back of Sotto's defense, not just turning it on, but turning the defense inside out. The magic in Manila from Kai Sotto. And after New Zealand started by scoring the first 8 points of the game. A minute and a half to play in the first. What have New Zealand got out of the timeout of Judd Flavel? They get the three going behind the screen. Doesn't go. Brownlee the rebound. He lost it. Picked off by Brown. Brown taking it from Brownlee. And then Brown couldn't knock it down. Those shooting percentages plummeting for New Zealand after the red-hot start. Brownlee. Newsom passes on. Had to pick it up down off the deck, but he put the ball in the bucket. Going all the way up into a shooting motion to give Philippines their first lead of the game from 9 down. Off Tana the score. And then a foul on the same player. Calvin Oftana now 4 of 10 from downtown in this competition. But he did so well to handle it and get straight up into the shooting motion to get the fans up on their feet and the bench too.
Substitution for the Philippines. Carl Tamayo for Justin Brownlee.
Justin Brownlee coming out, doesn't have the best start, but yet Philippines still ahead. Brownlee
Free throws for Flynn Cameron.
Quiet by his incredibly high standards. 4 points. A player who came in averaging a team high 21 points a game. He's only taken 3 shots though. He's picked his moments. Knowing that his team are starting to feel it as well. Everybody getting involved on the offensive end. 7 assists already for the Philippines. 6 different scorers. 20-20 after New Zealand get their first conversion from the foul line. Tamayo coming in off the bench for the first time, the number 33. Here's Newsom. Newsom, the fade, not the finish. Only averages 4.5 points per game, at least in the first window did. Shot clock turned off, end of the first quarter, 20-20. These two not level. Wardenberg takes the long 2 and he puts it in. Sam Wardenberg continues a fine first period for him and nudges New Zealand ahead at the first quarter buzzer after they led for the vast majority of that opening 10 minutes before Philippines completed a 9-point comeback to lead briefly. But Wardenberg's long-range 2 puts the Tall Blacks ahead at the end of 10. I look back at the best moments, and there were plenty of them in the opening period of this big game. New Zealand starting with an 8-0 run. It took Justin Brownlee to get the first field goal for the Philippines after around 2.5 minutes. Knocked down a couple in quick succession. Fans starting to believe. They turned up the intensity on defense, forcing New Zealand into tougher shots. And Sotto, how about the most magical moment of that tremendous opening 10? Now you see me, now you don't, as he sends Hiram Harris flying. New Zealand begin period 2 with the ball and the 2-point lead. Harris. Taylor Britt, the point guard. Skips it out near side. Ball movement from New Zealand to start. And a foul on the floor on Newsom.
Hand check foul on number 3, Chris Newsom. That's his second personal foul. First team foul for the
behind the 7 points of Wardenberg.
14 seconds.
A number of scorers for New Zealand. In fact, Corey Webster, the top scorer with 8. And at it again. Corey Webster is in the zone in this first half. New Zealand by 5. And Webster now has 11 points with just 1 miss. Offensive rebound for the Philippines. Second chance opportunity. Wide open 3. Newsom well short. Poke back. How about a third chance opportunity here for the hosts? Brownlee back in the game after a brief break at the end of the first period. Hesitation on the outside, and this time too long on the 3. A series of misses for the Philippines, and New Zealand now can look to create a little bit of breathing room. Searching for the 3-possession lead again, and they get it. No hesitation whatsoever on that shot from Sam Wardenberg. He and Corey Webster are sizzling hot for New Zealand. Webster up to 11, Wardenberg up to 10. Back-to-back threes for the 2 big, tall black stars. And almost New Zealand hit their first 2 triples of the second period. Wardenberg and Webster, 2 scorers in double digits already. They have 21 of New Zealand's 28. Brownlee, guarded by Brown. Short on the shot, grabbed his own rebound and put it in. Third score for Justin Brownlee. They get the points quickly off the back of the timeout. The ball going through multiple hands again for New Zealand. Delightfully done, but didn't have the finish it deserved, and Newsom comes away with it. They work it back, pinging around on the perimeter, and then a tough shot on the interior, but a confident and clinical one from Scotty Thompson. Thompson, the 185 shooting guard, putting it in over a taller opponent. After they failed to create the open look. Reaching foul called on Tamayo, 23-year-old forward.
Foul on number 33, Carl Tamayo.
Walter Brown challenging that shot, forcing the miss, but Brownlee on cleanup duty after his own mess. And then look at this. Over the top of the 2'14" Tyrell Harrison, a 7-footer. Offensive rebound for New Zealand now. 3-point shot, air ball. Well, Sam Wardenberg, who's not missed a beat until that point, missing the entirety of the rim. He's having a career year in the Australian League with Cairn, 15.1 points per game. That's an even tougher shot, almost an impossible one for Thompson. Webster on the bounce, confronted mid-air by Brownlee, but nothing can stop Corey Webster right now. We saw the spot open on the perimeter. Defense just didn't greet Tamayo. He misses, but an offensive rebound and stick back again. Philippines on the comeback trail once more. Fajardo, 4 points, the gap close to 4. Looking to slice and dice the defense at pace. And foul on Fajardo. And the burst to the basket from Taylor Britt. Before that, we saw the hot streak of Sam Wardenberg end with the air ball. But there's no calling Corey Webster right now. He's up to 13 points on 5 of 7 shooting. Tamayo to the bench. 2 at the line for Britt. Britt averaged 6.5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals in window 1. Part of the team that won bronze at the last Asia Cup in 2022. Numbers were a little bit higher on the big stage in that campaign. Britt had his role reduced then at the World Cup the following year. New Zealand by 5. Sotto, top scorer, and also top facilitator for the Philippines. A point of appreciation at the pass from Brownlee, as Sotto recognized the mismatch on the interior and played it to perfection. Brownlee 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists now. And Sotto doing it in multiple categories as well. Working hard on the defensive end, but this time as the ball pings around in the paint, back into New Zealand hands. Sotto eventually gets the defensive stop. He's on 6 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. And how about the flash and the finish from Scotty Thompson as the Philippines do it again. It's almost like a carbon copy of the first period. The early 8-point lead for New Zealand. The Filipino fight back. And they are within 1. As once more, Thompson. And off the back of that latest one, they get level. The Philippines.
Feel the momentum, swing, Jefferson. Exactly what Jordan needed.
Nice no-look dive to the reverse, and that's a beautiful play. Service, delivery, and Baba adds to his scoring tally. Rakji behind the back, throwing it up to Gyok Chan. Wizardry from Arakji.
And you know, if I'm Washington goes in and he misses a layup, good defense by Kawashima. There's the penetration, what a dime. Oh, baby, are you kidding me? Sugoi, one more time. Well, the pass came from Kawamura.
And Indy will have another 14 seconds. And the dunk and the foul. Prince attacks the basket. Pranav Prince.
Bilal, oh, lovely backdoor cut. Good read though by Ibrahim. Launches out the fast break. Abu Hawaz with the two-hander, but it's batted away. What defense! 6 3-pointers night here for Chinese Taipei. Second one now for Xia. Brownlee, Magadagabi. Good night. Are you kidding me? What a throwdown by Justin Brownlee. Defense now, Demario Mayfield coming up with it. Rocky shot to push this thing on numbers, goes up. Oh my goodness, what a rejection.
Ming Shen, right hand. Rebounded by Hawkinson. Now breaking out with speed to the right hand. Nice tip away from the bucket. Great block, great rejection.
There's the catch, there's the shot, and there's the bucket. What a hit that is. Incredible on the buzzer. Yachali with the three.
Both teams lot level at the top of Group B with perfect 2-0 records, looking to remain so. Corey Webster, 13 points, including 8 early on for New Zealand, has shot it superbly. Webster 3 of 3 from downtown, 13 points, and he's still not the top scorer in this ball game. Webster 5 of 8 shooting altogether. Down a couple of early threes as New Zealand scored the first 8 points of the game. An 8-0 run right out to the gates. They've led by as many as 9. Philippines, though, mounting a comeback down the final stretch of the first quarter. Took a brief lead. New Zealand then did the same thing at the start of the second quarter. Went up by 8 points. Philippines coming back to lead briefly again. And now we're all level at 45-45 at the break. Justin Brownlee comparatively quiet in the first period, but now 11 points, as well as 8 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds and 3 assists. He has the highest PIR of all players in the game. And he's done it efficiently with that 5 of 8 shooting, including a 3. Down to get there.
Shot clock at 11 seconds.
Plenty of time on the shot clock with Thompson to inbound for the baseline. And a foul before the ball even comes in. I think it's on Harrison. There's your 5 on the floor for a home team. Briefly on that graphic.
Harrison. And his first personal foul, first team foul for New Zealand. Shot clock at 14 seconds.
Foul is on New Zealand, not on the Philippines, as the graphic suggests. Long range 2. Off the mark for Sotto. It's his first miss on the inside in this game, having gone 3 of 3 in the first half. There's your starting lineup in this third quarter for New Zealand. Britt at point guard, directing traffic from deep. Goes around the high screen, shoots over the top of the taller opponent Fajardo, but knocks it down confidently, Taylor Britt. That's his first field goal. And got his first point from the foul line in the first half. New Zealand by 2. Thompson twisting and turning, passing on Brownlee down the baseline, lost it in a turnover. For the Philippines, it was 15 assists with only 6 turnovers, but they commit one right at the start of the third quarter. Corey Webster gives New Zealand the 4-point lead and takes his personal tally to a game-high 15. Fajardo, it's another turnover. No, a step on the line. 12 assists in the first half for New Zealand with only 4 turnovers. So a 3-to-1 ratio for them. Brownlee getting free to receive the inbound. Static 3-point shot, but it's the bottom of the net from Dwight Ramos right over the top of the defense. Philippines looking to improve that perimeter shooting after the slow start tonight. Britt tripped by Ramos, and that'll be the first foul on the home team in this third quarter.
Blocking foul on number 24, Dwight Ramos.
Philippines are only 2 of 11 from downtown in the first period. So they've won 4 of 7 since then. Movement off ball to catch the inbound pass and to put it in. Corey Webster, the halftime interval has done little to cool down his red-hot hands. 18 points in under 16 minutes of action for Webster, who's 4 of 4 from downtown. New Zealand by 4 again. Webster on the move. So quick to catch, elevate and convert. Back in the team this year and back in business. Sotto misses a 3. Ramos misses the attempt to the stick back. And New Zealand come away with it. Britt open on the three-point line again, that time halfway down and back out. New Zealand having been shooting 50% on the outside.
Shot clock at 19 seconds.
They're looking to continue in the same vein in the second half. They've made more threes than they have twos in this game, and at a better accuracy. Brownlee drawing the high double. Sotto takes plenty of attention away as well, and Fajardo puts it in. Wants the foul, has to settle for the 2. That's a real example of the team play from the Philippines. They force a turnover as well. First you have Brownlee drawing 2 defenders, then you have Sotto taking the attention of 3, and Fajardo able to finish. Philippines a chance to tie or maybe take the lead. 3 minutes into the third quarter. Brownlee slips, still able to grab the handle on the ball and finds a teammate Fajardo, and then they find the open shooter. But Ramos couldn't put it in. Offensive rebound, and Sotto does for the tie. He continues to bring it in each and every category. Kai Sotto, 10, 6 and 6 now. Long range 2. They cannot stop Corey Webster. He's playing machine-like basketball right now. Corey Webster with 20 points. And we're not even halfway through the third quarter. Another rebound for Sotto, but a miss this time. Webster 8 of 11 from the field. Just find his fingertips. Here he goes again, Webster. And this time, his opposite number, Scotty Thompson, quick in the passing lane, closing those angles. Ramos the miss, Sotto the recovery. Corey Webster again. The bench for what you have to assume will be a brief break. 20 points. 4 of 7 from 2, 4 of 4 from 3 in 18 minutes. Brownlee on the burst to the basket, puts it in. We're level again, 4.5 minutes into the second half. Bogdanovic had a hot shooting streak in the second quarter. Foul on the defense to frustrate the Philippines here. 2 fouls on both teams here in this third period. The latest score from Brownlee.
Foul on number 3, Chris Newsom. That's his 3rd personal foul. Second team
Brownlee
foul for the
up to
Philippines.
13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Foul on Newsom.
16 seconds on the shot clock.
Non-shooting foul, so New Zealand inbounding with 16. Again, great off-ball movement on the inbound and great shooting, as has been the case pretty much right the way through this contest. Deadeye from Isaiah Leefa. His second 3. And that 3-point shooting show continues. 12 of 23 now. The percentage is even improving. Sotto, tough pass, found Newsom who put it in. Big to little combination. Sotto pulling the strings as a passer. Now has 7 assists in this game. Philippines trail by 1. Wardenberg guarded by Sotto. One bounce, shifting to the side and showing his shot again. The 2'8" sniper, Sam Wardenberg. And New Zealand a team of snipers right now. Sotto has the height advantage. Great defense from Wardenberg though. How about the save and the score? Chris Newsom not giving up on the play. Four minutes to play in the third period. Philippines down 2. It's another three-point shot. They want a foul on that one. Brownlee forced the miss, and then fellow superstar Sotto with the big block. Philippines a chance to tie a game, maybe take the lead as well. Thompson pulls the trigger and hits the target. And the Philippines bombardment to blows from downtown from New Zealand, and they have the lead. What a save from Thompson. How on earth did he get there? And then the 3, and Philippines hit the front again. They're ahead again. They're playing at a pace to beat that right now, but yet they still trail. Wardenberg, another 3 off left. Ramos slows it down, gives it to Sotto. Brownlee back to Sotto. Confronted mid-air, but showing his muscle to put it back in, absorbing the body-to-body mid-air contact and getting the and one opportunity.
Foul on number 13, Hiram Harris.
Stopped by Harris, but Sotto biting back.
Corey Webster for Walter
Physicality over finesse that time for Kai Sotto.
Bonus free throw for Kai
He's playing at a
Sotto.
pace to complete a triple-double. "13 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists and only 2 turnovers for the 22-year-old rising superstar." Three-point shot New Zealand again. And a secret chance to surpass it here. Sotto hands it back to Thompson. Sotto feeling it as a scorer now. Looking to play a bit of volleyball. Kai Sotto banks it in. 15. Sotto putting together a superb all-round stat line. Philippines have their largest lead at 6. Deflection on the defensive end. Out in front, the finger roll falls for Brownlee. And the Philippines are pulling away. From 9 down, they lead by 8. Brownlee has 15 as well. 2 superstars stepping up. But this is a super team. And a super crowd as well. Chanting defense right now, and they get their reward. Ramos coming away with it. Newsom. Sotto. Can score or facilitate. Foul on the defense, pulling out the chair on Sotto. As they continue to search for the answers to the problems he's posing. A 15-9-7 game for Sotto. A 15-8-4 game for Brownlee.
Carl Tamayo for Justin Brownlee.
23-15 third quarter for the Philippines, who are one off the game's largest lead. By some distance, their largest lead. Ramos. Now they're looking for the game's first double-digit lead. Turnaround, triple, would it go? How about the flying follow from the guard, Chris Newsom? The burst down the baseline for the offensive rebound, and Philippines lead by 10. With 11.5 to play, this crowd in Manila now sensing their first win over New Zealand.
Foul on number 3, Chris Newsom. That's his 4th personal foul. Substitution for the Philippines, Japet Aguilar for Kai Sotto.
Newsom, how about the leap from the little man in the land of the giants? Pure hustle and energy for the hosts. Webster feeding it inside and surrounded by 4 players was Harrison. Looking for the kick out.
Foul on number 33, Carl Tamayo. That's his 3rd personal foul. Substitution for the Philippines, Scotty Thompson for Chris Newsom.
Free throws to come for any defensive fouls from either team the rest of this quarter. Newsom checks out, having committed his 4th personal.
14 seconds to shoot.
A shot from the corner off the side of the window. And those threes have dried up for New Zealand now. They were shooting 52%, making 13 threes. That's fallen to 46% now. There you see 3 of 8 in this quarter. They were at 50% at half time. And also made a couple early in quarter 3 before now a series of misses. Final minute of the 3rd. Ramos, bounce pass, beautifully done. And the finish on the reverse from Tamayo. And Philippines lead by 12 with 10.5 to play. Real pressure from their defense right now. Down the baseline, back out. New Zealand have been so reliant on those threes and they've dried up. Offensive rebound, pop back up from Corey Webster, the man who can't miss. If in doubt, turn to Webster. New Zealand doing so to close the gap to single digits. 5 to shoot now, end of the 3rd. Ball on the floor. The stumble from Tamayo. The turnover. No time to shoot though for New Zealand. And a 9-point gap with 5 of 6 threes. New Zealand hitting 14 threes through 3 quarters, but trailing by 9. They cannot keep pace with this blistering hot offense of the Philippines. 72-63 at the end of 3. They now have the 9-point edge with 10 to play. The way of all players at 23 points. The New Zealander, but Philippines have 15 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists from Kai Sotto, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists from Brownlee, and 12 the headline fixture in Group B. Maybe even on the whole continent of Asia. And it has been excellent throughout the first 30. New Zealand start the 4th with a miss. Philippines looking for a double-digit lead again. Paris. Thompson. Brownlee. Final 4 on the shot clock. Brownlee has to go to work here on Brown. Shoots with a hand in his face. Good defense forces the miss, but the offensive rebound for Jardo. No route to the rim on the interior, so they go back out. Step back 3-point shot off for Paris. Turnover, New Zealand. Brownlee on the burst, clattered over the baseline, will go to the line for 2. Level of opponents here. They've doubled the number of offensive rebounds at 14-7 in this game, and New Zealand have also committed 2 additional turnovers. It's part of the equation as to how Philippines can be up by double figures against a team that have knocked down 14 threes. They're getting more shots. 60 field goal attempts from the Philippines, 51 from New Zealand. Hard foul as New Zealand attacked the basket that time. It's on Tamayo.
Foul on number 33, Carl Tamayo. That's his 4th personal foul.
So 4 on Tamayo and Newsom. But nobody else on more than 2 for Philippines.
Two free throws for Sam Wartenberg.
New Zealand only have Hiram Harris on 3, nobody else on more than 2. Wardenberg's scoring cooled down a bit in that 3rd quarter. Up to 16, can't make it 17 points now. Stats late to update. So 18 now for Wardenberg. One game as it was at the start of this period. New Zealand struggling at the stripe again, as they did in window 1. Hoping to make them when it matters. Thompson, too heavy on the triple. Big rebound wrestled down by Walter Brown in a foul. Tough to take for CJ Perez. That's 2 on the Philippines inside the first minute and a half of the final period.
Personal foul, 2nd team foul for the Philippines.
Taylor Brett. Going to take the ring road around the defense, kicks it back out to the hot hands of Webster, whose shooting performance has bought that foul. Thompson will protest it,
Foul on number 9,
but he fouls Webster on the 3-point shot. Now this puts the Philippines in a difficult position in more ways than one. Not only 3 free throws to come for Webster, but also 3 team fouls on the Philippines. With only 1 more to give the rest of the game. And Webster, who can hardly miss from the field, misses a foul shot. Well, that's a super contest from Thompson. Slight contact after he gets the arm between the arms and right in the face of Webster. Webster, who recovers to take his tally to 25 points. That was his first trip to the line, going 2 of 3. 7 the gap, 8 to play. Perez. It's a tough pass to play. Their 8th of the game, to be precise. The door ajar for New Zealand to build a bit of momentum here. Webster poked away by Perez with pickpocket coming from the blind side. Thompson. Thompson on the attack, couldn't convert as he saw a free path through the paint. And the pendulum perhaps is swinging. Taylor Britt. Oh my goodness! Taylor Britt taking all the attention of the defense, and the highlight play behind the vertebrae from the point guard, leaving the freedom of the paint for his teammate Tyrell Harrison to fly. Timeout, Tim Cone. Britt on offense, they've closed a 12-point gap down to 5. How about that last assist from Taylor Britt? Takes him to 11 assists without a single turnover in this game. Down the right rail, the attack and the drop and the foul, and a chance at a three-point play for Brownlee. If under pressure, turn to your standout superstar. Brownlee with strong contact across his arms, still able to show his strength to convert. That's a fantastic finish from Brownlee, off balance and absorbing contact. Brownlee with a 20-point game now, 8 rebounds, 4 assists as well. Philippines by 8. Wardenberg kicks it out. Big shot for Brown if it goes, and it does. Walter Brown from downtown. Brown, who'd been struggling with his shot. Just 2 of 8 over the course of this campaign until that big 3. Jinking and jiving goes Ramos. Pulls it back. Forced into the miss still by Webster, despite putting all of his moves on him. A chance for New Zealand to make it a one-possession game, and they go quickly. They want to foul. They don't get it, and Philippines aren't hanging around. They'll go to the line for 2 with Ramos.
Foul on number 5, Taylor Britt. That's his second personal foul. Substitution for New Zealand.
Well, this has been an incredible 34 minutes. Hang on to your hats. 6 minutes to come. The feeling is that New Zealand are making their big push towards the final stretch. It's where the Philippines have enough to repel it and to get their historic first win over the Tall Blacks. And whether New Zealand will continue the curse and make it a perfect 5-0, despite the best efforts of Tim Cohn and his team. Top spot in Group B on the line. Every point could potentially be pivotal. Missed foul shots could be costly. Big block, Thompson, putting up the defensive ceiling over the top of the top scorer in the game and his opposite number, Webster, but New Zealand come right back at it and get the score to get back within 4. Taylor Britt, who's dished all of those assists without a turnover, only his second field goal of the game. Predominantly a playmaker, and an excellent one at that. Long range 2, Sotto left unguarded and makes the defense pay. By Sotto now 17 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Well, that's an eye of the needle bounce pass and put in by Vodanovic. New Zealand have the offense working smoothly again. Midway point to the 4th quarter. Does that spell trouble for the Philippines? Off Tana, off to Ramos, and a foul away from the ball as Brownlee ends up down on the deck.
Foul on number 7, Walter.
That'll be, I think, the 4th foul on New Zealand in the 4th quarter. Finger all good for Vodanovic, who's shown his shooting range on the exterior in this game. Gets his first 2, he's up to 11 points. That was the 4th foul on New Zealand, so any more on their defense will send Philippines to the line the rest of the way. Brownlee looking perhaps to expose that, pulls it back out to the perimeter, shot clock down to the final 3. Thompson into the lane, puts it up on the move, too long. Rebound Webster. New Zealand can make it a one-possession game here from 12 down. Britt puts it back out into the hands of a potential shooter, but Brownlee, having none of it, says don't bring it in here. Here's Vodanovic on the burst, and how about the two-handed hammer from Sotto? A Gilas Pilipinas pile driver, getting the fans on their feet, and Philippines up by 6. 19 now for Sotto. Not just a star of the future, but a star of the present as well, the 22-year-old.
Holding foul on number 9,
Vodanovic taking it onto the interior against the two superstars, Sotto and Brownlee. And then Sotto running the floor with power and purpose. (82-76) the lead. Look at the points in the paint count, 48-12. Webster kicks it out, three-point shot. New Zealand have been reliant on the outside shooting, and they hit another one. Just a three-point game as New Zealand knocked down their 15th three. Three off their all-time record now. It's the first for Britt. That three-point shooting has been infectious. Thompson to try and rub it out. Can't. Brownlee telegraphing the flight path of the ball. Puts it in at the second attempt, but the basket won't count. The foul came on the first shot attempt, and instead he will go to the line for two.
Foul on number 9, Corey Webster.
Taylor Britt with his first three, but his team's 15th. And that's 7 different players now who've knocked one down from deep for New Zealand.
Free throws for Justin Brownlee.
Brownlee gets a kind bounce from the home rim in the Filipino capital. Justin Brownlee remains perfect in this campaign, 100%. Can his team remain perfect and go to the top of Group B with a 3-0 record, handing New Zealand their first defeat? 5 is the lead, 3.5 to play. Taylor Britt doing all he can. Dazzling dribble, can't convert though. Brownlee the rebound. That's the double-double for him. (22 points, 10 rebounds for Brownlee. He wants it on the offensive end as well. Has the height advantage against the point guard Britt. Draws out from Brown. Shot clock winding down. Passes out to the double rejection though to take it away from Thompson. Webster swings it around. Wardenberg, Britt. Britt into the paint. Kicks it back out. It's a three-point shot each and every time for New Zealand as they knock down their 16th. 4 for Vodanovic. They still somehow trail by 2, despite that exquisite long-range shooting. Newsom completely free mid-range, but misses. Offensive rebound again for Ramos. And that is a key part of why Philippines still have the lead, despite the 17 of 33 three-point shooting for New Zealand now at 52%. They're hitting so many of them you can't keep count. And now 1 off their all-time record. But they've only grabbed 7 offensive rebounds in the game. Philippines have now grabbed 16. So a +9 in second chance opportunities. And off the back of the latest one, they get to the line. And the 2 makes is critical because it gives Tim Cone's team a 2-possession lead with 2 minutes and change remaining. This big crowd in the capital chanting defense. Wardenberg, mid-range, and knocks it down to half the deficit. Wardenberg now has 17 points. In fact, making 19 after the latest 2. Ramos, suffocated by Brown, who's a very good defender. Brownlee. Shot clock down to 6 for Brownlee. Spins baseline, puts it up with a contact. And he'll look to remain perfect at the stripe in these qualifiers.
Foul on number 9, Corey Webster. That's his 3rd personal foul.
Again, doing so, the difference between a 1 and 2 possession lead. Philippines have dominated the interior. They've shot it better from the line. They've grabbed more offensive rebounds. Justin Brownlee illustrating that point with the double-double.
Free throws for Justin Brownlee.
It's taken all of those things to survive the 17 threes of New Zealand. Brownlee hit all of his free throws in the first window. He's hit all of his free throws in this one. 6 of 6 now. The team are 14 of 15 for 93%. New Zealand only 7 of 12 for 58%. And it gets even better for the hosts. Back up by 2 possessions. Brownlee up to 24 points. A minute and a half to play in the fourth. Webster, it's a long 2 if it goes. It doesn't. A rare miss for Corey Webster, who's been on fire throughout the course of this contest. And now New Zealand are not happy. There may well be a coach's challenge. The officials could choose to go to the video and have a look themselves. Should Flavel will take the coach's challenge anyway and ensure his team get the inbound in. The opportunity to keep it a 1-possession game with a second chance score. Now the officials are conferring and they're going to the monitor. .88 seconds to play. Confirmation it was at the instruction of Coach Flavel on a coach's challenge, this review. His team knocking down 17 threes, one of their all-time record in any competition since those stats started to be logged. Could they possibly convert that many threes and not win this game? Here's what the officials are seeing. Doesn't look like Wardenberg gets a touch on that last swipe towards it. They'll get the magnifying glass out. And they keep it Philippines ball. Wardenberg still not happy. And coach's challenge that Chip Flavel had to use.
21 seconds on the shot clock.
Brings no reward. Philippines by 4. Less than a minute and a half to play. The conversion here would feel significant. Brownlee. It may well force the timeout. Britt trying to wrestle it off and forces a jump ball. Taylor Britt, who's dished 12 assists without a single turnover.
Timeout Philippines.
Philippines ball, possession arrow favoring them, but only 6 to shoot. Newsom got it off the inbound, 3-point shot for him, and Philippines lead by 7. They give New Zealand a taste of their own medicine and get Manila on its feet. They're saying good night. Go to bed, New Zealand, but it's not done yet. Chris Newsom knocking it down in a game in which New Zealand have hit 17 of them. The Philippines hit their 8th, but it's a big one. 8 turnovers. Both head coaches with a timeout left. 69 seconds to play. New Zealand down 7. Chip Flavel, having just taken the timeout, can his team get a much-needed score? Britt with that New Zealand record 12 assists. They don't want the turnover. Saved at centre court, but only into the hands of the home team. Sotto saying to slow it down, but hard to do that under the pressure that New Zealand are trying to apply. But that a huge turnover. And they're taking precious seconds away from New Zealand, and Brownlee, sensing he could go for the kill, passes on the responsibility. Newsom can't. But time running out on the Tall Blacks right now. Brit back, they need quick points. The three off, the rebound good. Brodanovic puts it in, but New Zealand barely breathing. Close the gap to 5. They need to foul if they can't force a turnover. And they do commit the foul with 22 seconds to play, but on a player who hasn't missed a single free throw in this qualifying campaign.
That's his second personal foul.
Brownlee 7 of 7 tonight. He and Sotto both have double-doubles. But Tim Cohn's team putting together a team performance. Highlighted by 2 superstars. Wow. The first miss of the campaign for Brownlee. That means it remains a 2-possession lead. Whether he makes this one or not. Big puff of the cheeks, and he misses both. A twist in this tantalizing tale. Britt, again they need to go quickly. 3-point shot, Brodanovic brings New Zealand back from the brink. They tie their all-time record in made threes with their 18th. If they're going down, they are going down swinging big blows from the perimeter.
Foul on number 7, Walter Brown, penalty situation.
Brodanovic 5 of 7 from deep. The team 18 of 35. An all-time record-tying 18 at 51% accuracy. Brownlee has just missed a pair, needs both. There's the first. The next one would see those fans surely celebrating the win. It would make it a 2-possession lead. He's done it. Puts 2 big misses behind him with 2 big makes. And with 11 seconds to play, Philippines lead by 4. And they look extra turnovers, 3 more to be precise. So Philippines taking extra shots. And the block from Sotto to seal it in style. And Manila, as one, rises to its feet with Filipino fireworks at the finish and an historic first ever win against New Zealand. They survive a New Zealand record 18 made threes to get the win. 93-89 on this fantastic night in the capital.